Hey there. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and tackle a massive and frankly very expensive elephant in the room: why most digital transformations fail spectacularly. In business today, everyone is rushing to adopt the latest technologies, but we often overlook the core foundation required to make those tools actually work.
Now, the sheer scale of this problem is just staggering. I mean, look at this. A massive survey of directors, CEOs, and senior executives revealed that 70% of digital transformation initiatives completely miss their goals. It's not just a small misstep, it's a systemic failure across almost every industry. And the financial reality of that failure? It's even crazier. Out of the $1.3 trillion spent on digital transformation in a single year, an estimated $900 billion went completely to waste. Just imagine setting almost $1 trillion on fire. So why exactly is this happening?
Well, it comes down to this. If your people don't have the right mindset or your current organizational practices are already flawed, throwing shiny new tech at the problem is just going to magnify those flaws. Transformation is ultimately about the human mind, not just the digital wiring. It's about organizational culture, not just software.
So, here is our roadmap to avoid that $900 billion trap. Strategy first, empower insiders, outside-in design, address fear, and startup culture. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Lesson 1, Strategy before Software.
You absolutely have to figure out your broader business strategy before you buy a single piece of software or jump on that machine learning bandwagon. Take the global supply chain company Lion Feng, for example. Before they even looked at specific digital tools, their leaders locked down a 3-year strategy focusing entirely on 3 core areas: speed, innovation, and digitalization. They knew exactly what they wanted to achieve before asking how the tech could help them do it.
And by letting those hard goals dictate the tech, like choosing to bring in virtual design software specifically to boost speed to market, they actually cut their design to sample times by 50%. Their finance department took the exact same approach, slashing month-end close time by 30% and boosting working capital efficiency by $200 million. The strategy drove the tool, and well, the results followed.
Moving on to Lesson 2, Empowering the Insiders. Look, it is so tempting to just outsource the heavy lifting. Companies do it all the time, bringing in these armies of expensive external consultants promising best practices. But the catch? Those are usually one-size-fits-all solutions. Real, lasting transformation actually relies on the deep, intimate, daily operational knowledge of your own staff. They are the ones who actually know what works on the ground and what doesn't.
For instance, let's look at Santa Clara County's Planning and Development Department. Consultants came in and suggested a decentralized permit approval process based on what other places were doing. But the internal staff, the ones actually talking to customers every day, knew their residents actually wanted a unified process. By heavily adapting the consultant recommendations to fit real resident needs, permit processing times were slashed by an impressive 33%. Insider knowledge is what made the technology actually work.
Which brings us right to Lesson 3, Designing from the Outside In.
If your main goal with a digital transformation is getting closer to your customers, your design process absolutely has to start with them. Going back to Santa Clara County, they didn't just guess what their residents wanted. They actually went out and conducted over 90 in-depth interviews. They ran focus groups with everyone from local developers to universities, just to figure out exactly what to alter in their workflow. And based on that direct input, they broke the permit process into transparent phases and revamped their portal so people could track their progress. It wasn't one massive app drop. It was targeted changes driven entirely by real customer feedback.
But as soon as you start changing workflows and bringing in new software, you hit a massive roadblock. It's the silent question echoing in almost every employee's head the second you say the words digital transformation. And that is, what if this technology replaces me?
That brings us to Lesson 4, Recognize employees' fear. You see, if your team perceives the tech as a threat to their livelihood, they're going to resist it. Consciously or unconsciously, they might even sabotage the initiative. Because think about it, if the transformation fails and management drops it, their jobs are safe. You literally cannot ignore this dynamic. To fix it, change management experts use something called an inside-out process. Instead of just forcing tech onto employees, you have them examine their unique strengths first. Then you help them connect those strengths to components of the digital transformation. This gives them control over the tech. Suddenly, it's framed as a tool to upgrade their own expertise, not an impending pink slip.
A fantastic example of this is CenturyLink. Their sales team didn't just have an AI tool shoved down their throats. Instead, they actually customized the AI to suggest exactly who to call, when to call, and what to say. They even added a gamification component to the selling process. Because they were in the driver's seat, the work actually became fun. Customer satisfaction went up, and it drove a massive 10% jump in sales.
And finally, Lesson 5. Adopting a startup culture.
You can have the best strategy in the world and super empowered employees, but if your organizational structure is too rigid, you're still going to fail. The reality is that digital transformation is just inherently uncertain. You've got to make provisional changes, spot mistakes instantly, and pivot on the fly. Traditional top-down hierarchies just get in the way. You need flat structures, rapid prototyping, and agile cross-functional teams that can make decisions without waiting for approvals from 5 different layers of middle management.
And this agility, it's absolutely critical if you're scaling globally. Like, say you're building a global cloud computing system to analyze customer demand. That's only going to work if you first iron out the differing organizational processes across all your international regions. If a team from just one country designs the whole system, they're going to completely miss the incompatibilities that exist everywhere else.
That's exactly why Li and Feng built cross-functional teams spanning multiple countries, like Hong Kong, Britain, Germany, and the US. By maintaining a flat structure, these diverse teams could experiment quickly, get immediate feedback from top execs like their CFO, and spot implementation hurdles way before full adoption. They vetted ideas rapidly across borders to make sure the tech would actually work in practice.
So ultimately, through all of these lessons, it really just comes down to this core truth. Human mindsets and clear organizational goals have to be the drivers of technology, never the other way around. Digital transformation isn't about the hardware or the software. It is about fundamentally changing the mindset of the people inside your organization.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one absolutely crucial question to ask yourself at your next leadership meeting. Is your technology driving your goals, or are your goals driving your technology? Think deeply about that, and make sure you're putting strategy, people, and culture right at the absolute center of your digital future.